welcome to another episode of the Intentional Grounding Podcast, brought to you by the Residence Media Network.
Got it right this week, huh?
Yep. It's me, your boy Chris Otto, here again with the one, the only, handsome Uncle Glenny.
What up?
How you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing?
What a busy day it's been.
Busy.
Exciting.
For you?
I just want to start off. I got robbed. Motherfuckers broke into my car, so I'm a little gassed up today.
So he didn't really get robbed. His car got broken into.
Isn't it getting robbed?
Nah. When you say I got robbed, it means someone came up, fucking put the gun in your back.
Nah, I would have said I got jacked. Run your pockets, homie.
Run it, son.
Yeah, so dealing with that, and in the midst of that, my team's making all these moves, and all these other teams are making moves, and I'm like, I want to be happy, I want to look into the shit, but I'm just like sitting on my couch going, I've been robbed.
You got car insurance, dog. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But you ready to jump into this?
Let's do it.
We'll do a recap of Week 8.
Week 8.
We're gonna start with last night's game.
Midpoint of the season, so now we can really see how the season, how it's shaking up.
Yeah, and in a unsurprising manner, the New England Tom Brady's get it done against the Buffalo Bills.
I don't know. You say in an unsurprising manner. Did you watch the game?
Yeah.
Listen, if you watch the game, the Buffalo Bills could have won that game probably twice. But if it wasn't for, who was it? Derek Anderson, he was playing golf last week. And then they were still in striking distance, and he fucking blew it. New England should have lost that game by all rights against a bad Buffalo team.
I think it was Brady and Belichick playing cat and mouse with them.
I don't think they were playing cat and mouse. They were getting punched in their mouth that whole game.
Yeah, until the end, and then they step on the gas a little bit.
They didn't really step on the gas. You got to think. I'm telling you, if you look at it, Buffalo could have scored. If they had a half-decent... If they had anybody at quarterback, if their quarterback just stunk, they would have won that game. All they had to do was stink, and they would have won. They were moving up and down the field. New England couldn't do anything until that pick six at the end. And even then, that fluke play to fucking Gronk, it was after a turnover, I think, at the end of the game. They scored 14 points at the end of the game, or 13 points to end the game. The game was neck and neck up until that point. Buffalo could have won that game multiple times, and they just didn't have an offense to do it.
But as usual, handsome Tom Brady with that, what we call that hot beat, kid. That hot beat. Something that the boy I love losing Super Bowls don't know about.
Yeah, I don't know. I think New England could have dropped the game easily, but it is
possibly.
What it is.
I mean, the best rusher of the night was Cordell Patterson, who ran for 38 yards. Think about that. Cordell Patterson is your lead rusher.
I don't know, he didn't look too bad in the backfield, to be honest with you. So
Not
what do we
too
got
shabby.
next?
We got the Saints handling business. MVP Drew Brees getting it done against Minnesota, 30-20.
But Minnesota actually looked like the Minnesota who we thought was going to be before the season started, who I thought they were going to be. They look pretty good. They look sharp. Defense looked good again. The Saints are the Saints. They're pretty good. They didn't do anything spectacular. They just grinded it out. Somehow ended up with 30. They look good.
Yeah.
It was an even win. You couldn't put it on it. They just beat the Vikings, but the Vikings looked pretty good.
It almost reminds me back to where that game that the Vikings lost to the Rams, where it wasn't necessarily a bad game overall by Minnesota. It was just, I guess, like last night, I think the Saints just probably executed better.
Someone's got to win. Someone's got to lose. It just was one of those kind of games.
Yeah, for the good guys on the plus side. Now we'll go to the bad side of someone's got to win and someone's got to
win one of these games, yeah.
Cardinals taking care of business by a field goal against the San Francisco 49ers. David Johnson breaking my heart. Larry Fitzgerald with another 100-yard performance.
Rosen's going to be legit. Rosen looks good. He looks sharp.
They got to get that kid help.
They got a bad team around them. He'll be all right. Rams and Packers. How about, what a fucking heartbreaker for the Packers. What a heartbreaker. Ty Montgomery got benched the drive before.
Top 10 pick.
Ty Montgomery got benched the drive before. Flat out, he was mad. They told him, down the ball. He said, fuck this, I'm taking it out. Fumbled, lost the game. I believe the Packers would have went down and at least got a field.
And then Todd Gurley you know, pulling a move out of the old Brian Westbrook playbook.
Yeah.
Right,
Smart move.
Just outside of the end zone, and decides, you know what? Fuck this. Fuck your fantasy team. Fuck your spread. Fuck everything. Bloop.
That's what he should have did.
Smart football move.
Smart football move.
That's a team player. That's a guy that wants to win, because Aaron Rodgers is just another one of those guys.
Give him the ball with enough time, he's going down and scoring.
But even for a guy like him and Tom Brady, what is enough time? What is
30 seconds. Yeah, how many timeouts you got?
What is the no timeouts? What is the very least amount of time that you could give Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady?
With no timeouts?
And I want to throw Drew Brees in this, because Drew Brees can get it done too late.
No timeouts. End of the game. Minute 45. 2 minutes. Minute 45. Minute 30, depending.
You think that's the minimum time?
Yeah, that's the minimum. You can't really do it, especially without 2-minute warning to stop it.
With no timeouts.
No timeouts, right.
You're saying a minute 30?
With no timeouts, yeah.
I'm going to take those guys in 50 seconds. 50 seconds or less.
No. To drive, how far are we talking? Driving the full length of the field?
An average kickoff, let's say you're starting at what is
25?
The 25.
Yeah, no. To get a field goal or a touchdown.
Oof, that's a good one.
Because you got to set up a field goal team.
Now, all right, so if we're going to play this game, right, let's say we're down by 4 or one whole score. You got to get.
You need a touchdown. Got to get in the end zone?
Yep. You got to get into the end zone. I will say, to be fair, I'll say 50 seconds.
Minute 45.
You'll say a minute 45? I'm going to say 50 seconds.
You know what it takes to run an average pass play? About 15 seconds. From snap, get the play out, get up to the line of scrimmage, and down at least 20 seconds. At least.
Yeah, but the thing...
So you're talking you got 3 plays. According to your time, and you got 3 plays to get all the way down the field in the end zone?
Those are 3 offenses. New Orleans, Green Bay, New England, that those guys know how to get out of bounds.
But the defense also knows you got to get out of bounds. So they're playing bounds.
You still got to show up and stop them. We've seen it. We've seen it.
Look,
them drive down the field. All right. So you're gonna say you're saying a buck 40.
If you get just say a 35-yard game. By the time all your guys run up the field, the linemen get up the field.
I'm talking.
You're talking. That's almost 40 seconds.
I'm not talking. You don't have to run a
hurry
up offense. These guys are talented enough to where they can just throw to the sideline and get out.
But they got to move 65 yards?
Yeah, but the clock...
75 yards?
Clock
75
stops,
yards. They gotta
the
move.
clock stops.
But just say you don't get out of bounds on one play. Okay. Now you're taking more than half of the time you got left on the clock. Now you got to clock it. You lose it down.
So we'll meet halfway, okay?
There's no meeting halfway. It's a minute 45 to a minute 30.
You're saying a minute 45. I'll say a minute 20.
That's better. I mean, it's close. Obviously, gives you more room. But
I'll give you a minute 20. How many deep shots do you think those 3 quarterbacks would have to make?
Your first shot's got to be a deep shot. You need at least one deep shot, one middle of the field, and then hope you get out of bounds on the middle of the field one, and then you take a couple shots at the end zone.
Okay. Now, we'll stick with these same 3 teams, same 3 quarterbacks, Breeze, Brady, Rodgers. You're playing for a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
And it could either be the game-winning field goal or the game-tying field goal, but they need to
You're
get
playing
to
for
field goal range.
Then I'll give you about a minute 20, minute 10.
Okay. That's fair enough. You guys listening, tell us what you think is a sufficient amount of time for the top 3 we mentioned. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Drew Brees. We're not talking about old Case and Brock and Ryan Tannehill and Joe Flacco. Stick with these 3 quarterbacks and let us know how much time do you think those guys need at a minimum for a game-winning drive or a game-tying field goal. Moving right along, the next game, we got the Colts.
And the Raiders.
Handling business against
and the Colts are a bad football team, and they just beat the fuck out of Raiders. It was a close game in the beginning. They beat the fuck out of Raiders.
Do you think the Raiders are just checked out?
John Gruden lost that team.
So you're saying they lost the team,
John
or do you
Gruden
think
lost the team.
They're playing for a pick?
No, John Gruden lost the team. Watch them play. John Gruden lost that team.
Could you imagine the first year of a 10-year contract and all of your players are already checked out? Like, That
Look, all I'm saying is you could go back to the beginning episode and Uncle Glenny called it.
Uncle Glenny called it live here on the Intentional Grounding Podcast. Colts 42-28. That's sickening.
Listen, the Colts got a solid offense. Their offensive line played well, but the Raiders are just a bad team on every front.
Now imagine if Oakland only had a wide receiver.
They didn't have one. They still don't have one.
Ooh, you don't think the Mari Cooper has got the juice, the sauce?
No, he stinks. He's a bad wide receiver. Not only is he not a mediocre wide receiver, he's a bad wide receiver. He drops the ball. Effort is awful at times. Listen, he's a bad wide receiver. I don't care. I don't care how you put it. And I watched him play. I was worried about him when they drafted him. First year, I said, okay, he's a rookie. He's not doing it. Second year, this dude stinks. Stinks. Never once was I ever worried about him. And the Chiefs' defense has been bad since fucking Derek Thomas. So, and he hasn't done anything.
Ooh, saucy.
Stinks.
Panthers handling it against the Ravens.
Panthers are turning into one of those good teams. Strong team. They're solid all around. They don't do anything spectacular. They run the ball. McCaffrey's playing well. Cam Newton's playing over his head. They're a pretty good team right now. Defense is playing good. Overall, solid team. Not too many strengths, not too many weaknesses. Good football team. Get bounced out of playoffs.
I think they got the potential to make a deep run.
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay. We'll keep it in the AFC North. We got the Steelers taking on the Browns.
Browns, what about them this week?
How do you go from, yeah, we're thinking about firing our offensive coordinator to, Hugh, you're out of here.
Well, look,
Get
this
the fuck
started in the offseason. When John Dorsey got there, I think we talked about this before the season started. John Dorsey got there, he wanted to fire Hugh Jackson. The owner stepped in and said, no, you can't fire Hugh Jackson. So they went along, they trudged along. They had a meeting today, apparently, from the last I saw. I could be wrong at this point. But the last I saw, John Dorsey and their owner had a meeting. The owner wanted to keep Hugh Jackson and fire Todd Haley. John Dorsey said, no, the head coach has got to go. Hugh Jackson's got to go. And then Hugh Jackson got fired. I think it was less than an hour later, Todd Haley was fired. Now they put Greg Williams as the head coach, the interim. After apparently Al Saunders was supposed to be the interim, then it was Greg Williams. Greg Williams' son's now the defensive coordinator, and they got a guy running the offense who never ran an offense before. So
it's a beautiful morning.
And they play.
I wonder what Mike Silver has got to say about this, because he was one of those guys that was deep throat in the Hugh Jackson signing.
Look at Hugh Jackson's history. He's never done anything in the NFL.
Ask Mike Silver. Mike Silver is like his #1 fan.
Well, Mike Silver should lose his job as well.
He blocked me because of the one time, I think after last year, I said...
you're obnoxious.
Yeah, but I said something that was along the lines like, oh, yeah, Hugh Jackson's looking pretty good right now, huh? And
I'm sure it was that nice.
He hit the block button.
Good. He should have. If we didn't do the show together, I'd block you too.
I blocked this dick. Hey, Redskins getting it done against the Giants.
Redskins in classic Alex Smith fucking fashion.
They are slowly creeping away with that division.
I think they're #1 in the NFC right now, if I'm not mistaken. In the NFC, not the NFC East, in the NFC. And obviously the
Compared
NFC
to the Rams?
Okay, yeah. So the Rams are
and
having...
the Saints?
All right, yeah. So I don't know what I read. Maybe NFC East. Yeah, you're right. I don't know what I read.
Moving right along, the Chiefs getting it done against the Denver Broncos.
In a game that went how I thought it was going to. Denver's tough defense. They seen Patrick Mahomes. This will be the third time in 8 games. So if anybody has a recipe for them, it would be them. And the Chiefs could have easily put up 50. Travis Kelce dropped another touchdown, which is why I say he's not the best tight end in the league. They left a lot out there, and the defense shit the bed on 2 of Denver's touchdowns. Ron Parker single-handedly gave them 14 points out of that 23. So the game really wasn't as close as that score indicates, but it just shows all the warts on the Chiefs team about that defense.
All right.
That's why they tried to make a play for Landon Collins today. Apparently, they made a huge push for Landon Collins from the Giants, and it fell through. Apparently, the Giants wanted a first-rounder and then like another mid-rounder or second-rounder, and obviously Veach ain't going to do that. So he'll just roll with it.
Well, I'll give it to the Giants. I mean, I think you need a piece like that. I mean...
But he's going to be a free agent this year coming. So he's going to walk or they're going to franchise him.
I think they'll franchise. They're going to try to keep him and move everyone else. They've already, we'll discuss that in a little bit, but they got rid of Snacks. They were shopping around Janoris Jenkins.
Yeah, apparently it was out of Janoris Jenkins and Landon Collins, and the Chiefs wanted. But Landon Collins and his agent came out after the trade deadline and said the Chiefs were after him hard, but it didn't come through. The asking price was too high. Apparently the Giants raised the asking price at the last minute, because I guess they thought they had the Chiefs by the balls.
Well, bad teams make bad decisions.
Bad teams make bad decisions, but when you have a good team that's one piece away from maybe solidifying them, you think you got them by the balls too, but it didn't work out.
Moving right along, back to the AFC North, the Bengals with a rebound win.
So we're not going to talk about the Seahawks and the Lions?
Oh, my bad. We'll come back to that one, buddy. Okay. We'll come back. Bengals, squeak out a win. They look like I said, the normal Bengals where they'll get that win, but then when it comes to facing, the Papas and the Fajas, they get back in your bed, young man.
They're a mediocre team. They're nothing special, nothing to write home about. Seahawks and Lions. Seahawks are looking like the Seahawks again, which is weird.
Yeah.
I guess they're hitting the stride. Russell Wilson's playing well. Matthew Stafford and the Lions are just being Matthew Stafford and the Lions.
I think Pete Carroll's a good motivator. But he's like players that have that switch, right? I don't
think motivators in the NFL, I don't think they have a place, I'll be honest with you.
I don't know, because I feel like Pete Carroll, he's one of those guys that gets his team on board, but once they start doing good, it's almost like, well, my job's done here. I can just relax and they'll do their thing. But then it gets out of control. But then he comes back and says, well, back to...
What's it been out of control for 2 years?
2, 3. That's a long time in the NFL.
No shit. That's what I'm saying. If he had the ability just to motivate it, like that, he'd do it.
Well, what do you think's been the key to their turnaround?
Cohesion. Maybe the offensive line got worked out. Russell Wilson's playing well. They got some good receivers
Think about maybe they got rid of the big mouths on the defense?
Possibly. Take away from team chemistry.
That's a big sign. I mean, no more
Mike Singletary. Can't win with him. Can't coach him.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. I mean, what are the odds? They get rid of Sherman, Michael Bennett, and now the defense is back on
Earl
track.
Thomas.
Earl Thomas is...
You would think they'd be heading down the road to lose the rest of the games. But here they are playing. Cam Chancellor's out.
Well, something to tune into is the Big Beaks.
You don't want to play them in the playoffs, I'll tell you that. You don't want them to squeak
out. Not at all. And you don't want to play them at home.
That's what I'm saying.
Not at home. Let's see.
Bears
We got
and Jets.
the Bears getting it done.
I don't know. Trubisky, Alex Smith plus. Defense is good. They beat the Jets.
That's Mitch Fitzpatrick. Put some respect on his name. I'm
Eagles
telling
and
you.
Jags?
Eagles and Jags in London, I mean... Jags with the perfect home field advantage, blow the fucking win. What did you see? Anything that stood out?
Nothing.
I still think there's something with Carson Wentz that isn't clicking.
Maybe he's not 100% healthy. Listen, I still think he looks robotic. If you watch him in the pocket, which I pay attention to a lot, normally he usually keeps a lot of bends in his knees. He's got good footwork. He's got good bounce. If you watch him now, he stands pretty much flat-footed in the pocket. His bounce isn't there. His knees aren't bent. He's more like a statue. Not saying he still can't move because he does when he has to. He's not as fluid. He looks more robotic in there. He's getting sacked a little more because of it, I think. But, I mean, he's still throwing the ball well. He's still putting up good numbers. He's still doing Carson Wentz things, but he just doesn't look as fluid. They made a trade for a receiver today. I think it's going to help the offense big time.
Well, we'll get into that because I disagree with that statement. But
we'll get to it.
Moving along, the Thursday Night Football, the first game of the week. Texans dismantling the Dolphins. And this, I will steal a page out of your book and say the score is not even how close it should have been. It should have been way higher.
Should have been way
higher.
Yeah.
At least a 50-piece. At least.
And I don't think the Dolphins should have scored what they got. The game should have been a total runaway. That's kind of
DeAndre Hopkins, hands down. I'm going to say it about my guy. The best catch in NFL history. There's no doubt about it.
The best catch in NFL history.
Are you nuts? Name a better catch. He catches the ball.
Listen.
Alley-oops it through his legs, out the other side, and brings it down.
Look, He did, that's not how it had all happened. If you watch it, he was on his back and trapped it to his leg. Number one,
and then
he didn't alley-oop dick. He was sliding on the fucking ground with the ball in his leg. Then he pulled it up and secured it. He didn't fucking alley-oop like he was in the air like fucking. What's the matter with you?
Is Antonio making that catch? No. Julio? No. Odell? No. Tyreek? No.
Odell.
Sammy Watkins? No.
Odell, yes.
Oh, yeah?
Odell's making catches like that. Stop it.
Stop it. He's more like catching dicks like that. That's about it.
He might be catching dicks like that, but that's a different discussion. Listen, Odell makes catches like that. DeAndre Hopkins, I've said it for you, he's been my favorite wide receiver. I've been saying he's not the best wide receiver. He's my favorite. I said it. He's the best wide receiver in the NFL right now.
That was the greatest catch in NFL history. Name a better catch.
Look, I can't name one.
That's why.
I'm going to tell you why.
It is the greatest because you can't name a single catch that's better than that. Not that fucking Odell, like, oh, let me grab the dick before it flies over my head.
I'll name one that was better, that also did not count. I'm going to say a name. Tell me if you remember. Jonathan Baldwin.
Yes.
Who was he?
He was a wide receiver.
Pittsburgh wide receiver. Chiefs drafted him.
Yep.
A few years back. Monster. 6'5".
Big fan of his. Big fan. I had a big crush on him.
And he stunk.
Yes,
but
he did.
He did make one catch going down the field. I forget who threw it to him. It was before Alex Smith. Maybe Matt Castle. He threw it down. He had a DB running through his chest. The ball came down behind the cornerback. He didn't even see it. He caught the ball with the DB in his face, tackling him to the ground. He caught the ball behind the cornerback's back without him seeing it, caught it, completed the catch, and went down to the ground.
And there was no mention of it anywhere. Not ESPN, not NFL Network.
Look, I'm just saying it happened.
It's not the greatest. Okay, I believe you in the land of make-believe, it happened.
Listen,
I believe
it did happen.
Practice,
any Chiefs fan out there could fucking attest to it.
Practice.
It did happen.
I get it.
Practice. No, it wasn't practice. It was
crazy things happen in practice.
It was
I give
game.
It to you. Yeah, 7-on-7. It's always you practice as you play. But since we're here at the Texans and Dolphins, Texans making a trade at the deadline, sending a 4th-round pick to Denver for Demaryius Thomas and a 7th-round pick swap.
He stinks.
What do you think it is? Bad quarterback play? He was a Pro Bowler, but He
was a Pro Bowler with Peyton Manning. And that's it. He was nothing before, and he was nothing after.
Who was his quarterback before Peyton?
Joe Blow.
Tim Tebow.
He put up decent numbers with Tebow, but nothing crazy. He said he didn't know how to run a route until Peyton Manning got there. 3 years in the NFL, you're a professional wide receiver, and you couldn't run a route until a quarterback got there. You can't listen to coaches. You still can't run routes now.
Maybe the coaches are bad.
Maybe. At some point, a receiver owes it to himself to develop.
I'm sure, but who do you go to develop? Because maybe the guys that are whose job it is to help you develop stink.
It's possible.
I don't know.
Look, I don't know what the reason is. He's been through a couple coaching staffs. He was only good when Peyton Manning was there.
He's never had Deshaun Watson.
That's true.
He's had Trevor Seaman. He's had Brock Osweiler, Case Keenum.
We're talking, this is an all-star cast. I don't know. I don't see the problem with any of these guys.
Neither do I.
Right on par with Deshaun Watson as far as I'm concerned.
I'm a little disappointed. I wanted them to jump into the Janoris Jenkins fiasco, make a move for Patrick Peterson. I'm still worried about the backside of the defense. Yay, Will Fuller hurt. And if anything, this move to me still says they still believe they're on the up and at least have a shot. How wide open that shot is, who knows? But he's in the final year of his contract, so obviously they believe something's going right for them.
Well, to me, the move reaped the desperation, and I'll tell you why. They needed another wide receiver.
Sure.
They needed a speed guy. As far as I was concerned, they needed Deshaun Jackson. As far as I'm concerned. Now,
they were also making a move for Philip Dorsett that went.
You need a speed guy is really what it comes down to.
Sure.
You need a speed guy. You already got a couple possession guys. You got Kiki Kuti. Who the fuck knows what's going on with that hamstring? We talked about it before. They linger all year. If he missed that much time from training camp to now, that hamstring ain't going to be right all year. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what the trainers say. It's not going to be right. So you got a big possession guy, and then you added a slower big possession guy who shows questionable effort at times and He's a jag. He's just a wide receiver. There's nothing great
special.
about him. I guess you need him because he's an established wide receiver. But at least if he was a student at a game, maybe if he brought good route running, maybe if he had something to the table, some leadership quality, maybe I can get on board with it.
Maybe Denver didn't offer that.
What do you mean?
Maybe Denver didn't offer that. Bad coaches. Maybe Emmanuel Sanders. Maybe he's not.
You know they won 2 Super Bowls, right? So it can't be that much bad coaching.
A great defense. Peyton Manning.
Still can't be that bad.
You can't be that bad, but, you know, I mean.
But they didn't win 2. They won 1 and went to another one.
Yeah, they got smacked in 1.
Right.
But what are the odds? Like, if you look at, maybe Emmanuel Sanders is just a bad teacher, you know? Or didn't want to teach him anything.
Maybe, but what I'm saying is he was there long before Emmanuel Sanders.
Even then, bad coaches. Maybe it was just one of those, like.
I know the Texans made sure you got justified in your brain. I get it.
Sure.
I understand it.
Or it could have just been like, I've gotten this far. What do I need to do? I'm here. Fuck getting better. It could be that.
It could be, and I think that's what it is.
Another wide receiver trade, the Philadelphia Eagles gave up a 3rd rounder for Golden Tate.
Golden Tate.
Which I think might have been I think Golden Tate and Deshaun were higher on the Texans' radar. I think they just didn't want to part. I think the 3rd round pick was too high for them.
Right. I think Golden Tate would have been a great fit for what Houston's trying to do.
Absolutely.
Great fit.
I don't think he helps Philadelphia one bit.
Yes, he does, because Philadelphia receivers play, unless you've been paying attention, is awful.
Carson Wentz is averaging 300 yards a game.
And the receiving core is awful.
So
that's all tight ends.
Is it a receiving issue?
Yeah, but they got great tight ends.
They need run help. Run the fucking ball.
Not in today's NFL, pal.
That's what Carson Wentz needs. He needs a reliable run game that he can rely on, period.
You pass the setup to run in today's NFL. Get out of fucking 1997, pal.
I don't want a problem, sir. I'm not looking for trouble.
That's right.
Then we have Ty Montgomery talked his way out of Green Bay and ended up.
Oh, he didn't talk. He fumbled his way out of Green Bay.
Yeah, he fumbled his way out of into the Ravens.
I'll tell you the other juicy one. I don't even give a shit about that one. The juicy one is Clinton Dix going to Washington.
Yeah.
For a 4th rounder. That took an already stout defense and made it better. Much better.
Green Bay, they want that top 10 pick.
Listen, much better. They got a good defensive backfield now. Now, Washington is now building up a team that could win with Alex Smith. They're putting together a very solid defense, so they don't let up any more than 14 points, because after that, Alex Smith is questionable at best. So, if you could hold the team at 14, around 14, I think with this move, they basically solidified themselves as winning the NFC East.
Oh, absolutely. And did you see the little clip after made his little interception, and he went over to the sideline and saw DJ Swearinger, the safety for the Redskins, and they were shaking hands and showing love?
No.
Yeah, that happened.
Really?
During the game. You think they knew something was up? Hooey.
Whatever that sound means.
So we got Snacks. He was traded out of New York to Detroit.
Detroit for a 5th rounder. That's not the move I would have made if I was Detroit, but fuck it, for a 5th rounder, you're getting a beast in the middle.
Who is Detroit going to pass the ball to now, though?
You, if you sign up, maybe send in your application.
I mean, you make a move for a guy like Damon Harrison only to let a guy.
And then
like
what did they put up? They put up what, 14 this week?
Yeah.
They put up 14 and gave up how many? You got a stout run stopper on a defense that wasn't really good at anything. If you're going to make a play, obviously you're going to make a splash for someone in the defensive backfield in today's NFL. You're not going to make a splash and make a move for a guy that stops the run when you can't stop the pass. You worry about your pass defense first. The guy ain't rushing a passer. Snacks ain't rushing a passer. So he's not bringing that to the table.
It's back to our saying of bad teams making bad decisions.
Bad teams make bad decisions. That's it.
You know? I mean, I could support the Damon Harrison trade.
Listen, it was only a 5th rounder. You're getting better for a 5th rounder.
If they didn't get rid of Golden Tate.
Even if one has nothing to do with the other. I don't think Snacks is a game changer for them. I think he makes the defensive line better, but I don't think he's changing anything on the season.
And it could have been, you know what? It could have been New York was just trying to shop them around and get them off the books.
Exactly. No, you're right. That could be it.
And it could have been Detroit was the only team that was like, we'll take them. But it could have been like, we'll give you this. Or if not, take a hike.
Look, you're 100% right. I mean, they could just be trying to stockpile draft picks because they're going to make a play for a quarterback this year. So whatever draft picks they could acquire for whoever they can get rid of, and they'll just like, fuck, we'll just put it back together afterwards. We need a quarterback. You're looking at the impacts, guys like Deshaun Watson, even Trubisky's making an impact in Chicago. He's better than what they've had over the last 15, 20 years. So he might, in our opinion, he ain't a great quarterback, but he's at least solidified that quarterback position, and he's doing something better than it has been. So you got Deshaun, you got Patrick Mahomes, you got Trubisky, you got the young quarterbacks this year. You could see what a young quarterback could do for your team now. And maybe now they just figure, fuck it, this is going to be a year to sell out, and they're making a play for that top pick, their favorite quarterback.
Are there any moves you wish would have happened for any team?
I can only speak for the Chiefs. I wish they would have landed Landon Collins. They really need safety help. I mean, really bad. They don't have a defensive back that's willing to tackle. They don't have a safety that's willing to cover anything. They're blowing the most. You're talking cover two. What do they say? Deeper than the deepest, something to something. We got safeties, professional football safeties that are blowing those assignments. Like I said, excuse me, Ron Parker single-handedly gave up 14 points playing cover two and diving down on underneath routes and letting guys go right behind him. So it's not, listen, I wish the Chiefs would have made a play for a safety.
I wish the Eagles would have made a move for a running back. I mean, they may have, and maybe the asking price were too high. I think they should have knocked on the door for Shady, Le'Veon, and Jordan Howard.
I read a funny thing with the Le'Veon, which was kind of a loophole. Le'Veon kind of tied the Steelers' hands behind her back. They couldn't trade him because he never signed his tender. He would have had to have signed in order for them to trade him. He never went there. So he literally handcuffed them and said, you can't even trade me because I'm not signing my franchise tag. He literally handcuffed them. They couldn't trade him even if they wanted to. Even if they were trying to get, if they wanted a 7th rounder for him, they couldn't have got that because he never signed the fucking tag. So he fucked them on that.
That's gangster.
Oh, yeah. He did it on purpose.
Shit.
He did it on purpose.
Any other NFL tidbits? We got Amari Cooper, got traded for a first-round pick to the Dallas Cowboys.
So
another bad team.
Middle of the year, surprises. Who's your biggest surprise by midseason?
Mr. Producer, can you bring up the standings?
I'm on it.
Well, one of them, while he's bringing up the standings, so I'll have a nice little something to go off of. Patrick Mahomes is probably me for my. He's looking good.
I was talking really teams. I mean, we can get into individuals. I don't think individual stats. There isn't too many surprises. I took a picture like Adam Thielen leading the league in receiving. I think.
Click league. Above where it says American Football Conference.
Yeah, right there. See league. There you go.
One of the biggest surprises is how bad the New York Giants are.
Right. Well, that was we picked them before the season.
How good the Redskins are playing.
How good the Redskins are playing. I think I picked them. We still is a big fuck up on ours. We never talked about the NFC, but I believe I had them last in the NFC East.
Yes, I think we both did.
Yeah.
Now, 8 games into the season, are the Redskins better or worse without Kirk Cousins?
I think they're right on par. I think they're more. This is an Alex Smith team, so I've seen this intimately over the last few years. They're very solid. They don't make mistakes, and they're going to win games, mistake-free football. They're never going to win a shootout. With Cousins, they could have won a shootout, but Cousins would turn the ball over. Cousins will lose you games, but he would win you games. Alex Smith isn't going to lose you any games, but he's also not going to win you any games. So they're winning by running the ball.
Over to conference, please.
They're winning by running the ball and stopping the run, which is weird in today's NFL. Thielen leading the league in receiving is my biggest surprise.
Okay, so if the season were to end today, in the AFC, we'd have Kansas City,
right? Kansas City,
New England, Pittsburgh, and the Texans would be your division winners. And it looks like
Chargers and Bengals,
the Bengals would be your wild card.
Wild cards, right?
So I don't think that's too far off, except for I think that's pretty close to what our predictions were, except for Jacksonville's on the outs.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Yeah, I think I had Jacksonville winning the division with Houston with the wild card.
I
So
think
besides that, I think we had that.
And I think I had
right
the
on.
Chargers with maybe the Chiefs on the outs or not.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we both had the Chargers winning the division.
All right, now scroll down a little bit, sir. Keep scrolling. Okay, so in the NFC, it looks like we got the Rams, the Saints, the Redskins, and the Bears are currently your division winners, with Carolina and the Seattle Seahawks peeking in.
Now, before the season, I had the Bears winning the division, which they're going to do. But, or did I switch last minute? I think maybe I switched last minute and put Green Bay ahead. But originally up front, I did have the Bears winning the division. Saints did it. Rams, we knew. I think the NFC East, I had the Eagles winning it. I think I had the Redskins.
Giants.
I think I had the Redskins last in the division.
I believe I had the Falcons and not Carolina, and I think I had Minnesota.
Did we think the Rams were going to be 8-0, undefeated by halfway through the season?
No.
Nah. I mean, we knew they were going to be kind of good.
Looking at it the way it is now, with everyone coming out of the pack, at the NFC currently, the way it is, who do you think is going to end up in and who's going to end up out?
I think, believe it or not, I think what we're looking at here, the only team that I could see that it would flip-flop would be if the Eagles got it together and the Redskins fell apart. That's the only one I could see that would change. I think it's all going to hold
You think
pretty
that's
strong.
Hold in the
I think it's
NFC?
going to hold in the NFC. I think it's going to hold pretty strong the rest of the way through.
Okay.
Minnesota's what? NFC North, so they're in the division with Chicago, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe Minnesota, but I think Minnesota's still got too many warts. I'm going to say it's going to hold. If anything changes, the Eagles will overtake the Redskins.
That's fair enough. Scroll up, sir. Do you think the AFC is basically set?
The Chiefs will have to play the Chargers again. That could be a big one. That could flop some position around. I'm not sure the Patriots are going to lose another game. Maybe one more. I think the Chiefs got another 2 losses in them. So it's going to be close. I think the divisions are going to be the same, but I think the seeding is going to change.
Okay. I don't see any changes. I think I could strongly, 2, 4, 6, 8, I can strongly see all these teams being locked in right now.
I think locked in, yeah. I think these are the teams we're going to see getting in there. But I think the seeding between the 1 and 2 seed might change. But that's it. The AFC playoff picture as it sits now is going to be the same at the end of the year.
Yeah, I don't.
For sure.
From Miami on down, I don't see anyone making any
No.
pulls.
Mm-mm.
I mean, because if we look at it, you got the Miami Dolphins who are on the cusp. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Miami is currently in.
No, Miami's not in.
It's 6 teams. I'm sorry.
6 teams, right.
6 teams. So 6
Miami's
teams.
on the outside looking in.
So Baltimore and Miami are on the outs.
They're rustling for a wild card.
I don't see it.
No, I don't see it either.
I don't see it either.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah, none of these teams really.
None of
did
those
anything.
bottom feeders at all are going to make a run.
No,
none
at
of them.
all. You're
From
talking
Tennessee
Oakland,
down,
Buffalo.
Tennessee down isn't going to make a run. Maybe Baltimore and Miami flip flop for the wild card. Maybe, but I don't even see that. I think the playoff picture in the AFC is set right now as it's going to be.
Do you think the Chiefs get that 1 seed?
If the Chiefs get the 1 seed, they're going to the Super Bowl. Nobody's going to Arrowhead and beating that team.
New England?
New England's not going to Arrowhead and beating that team.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Eric Barr will be back by then. Justin Houston will be back by then. You're not going to.
I mean, I almost.
Did you say how about New England? We almost glanced past that. New England had to not suspend him, but bench Josh Gordon for a quarter. Well, they said they were going to bench him for a quarter because he's late.
Yeah,
but he's showing up late and
Belichick-
shit now. I told you. This fucking kid, he ain't going to do dick in New England. I promise you. He'll be out sooner than later.
I almost want to book this as the AFC Championship game, the Patriots and the
Patriots and Chiefs. Yeah, that's going to be your AFC Championship. Where it's going to be played is the key.
I don't think this is the Steelers of old where they're quiet, don't make a lot of headway.
No.
The Chargers, what's scary is they're 5-2 without Joey Bosa.
And they've played exactly nobody. The only two teams with winning records they played, they lost to. They've played nobody. They're beating up on scrubs.
And then you have the Texans, who are a bad team, and then you have the Bengals, who are
the Texans are up front in a bad division. Nobody's making a push there.
Well,
this is all obviously contingent on injuries, but
sure.
as it stands now, I don't see the picture changing at all.
These next 3 weeks will define their season, I think. They got Denver this week, bye week, and then it's the Redskins.
Right.
Then it's not until the last 2 of the year where you play Jacksonville and then you come to Philly.
If they put up some you're talking about the Texans. If they put up some points on Washington, they're going to beat Washington, which then drops Washington down. I think Philly's going to pick up some steam. This is the kind of skid that an Alex Smith team goes on, where once you get out in front of him, but with that Clinton-Dix adding him in, it's going to be tough to score on that team.
Yeah, Matt Ioannidis is a fucking monster. A monster. And he doesn't get talked about.
Right.
But it's because this league has a lot of good defensive talent. I mean, you're talking, you got Matt Ioannidis who's playing at a high level, but he's getting buried behind your Khalil Max, your Aaron Donalds, your J.J. Watts, your D Ford is even making.
D Ford's leading the league in sacks, I want to say.
Yeah.
And I think he's plus by 6 pressures.
I don't think he's leading the league in sacks. How many's he got?
I think he's leading the league in sacks.
With how many?
I don't know the number, but I read it. I could be
NFL
wrong.
sack leader, sir.
Well, this is what I would say. If we're going to just touch on individual stats before we get into our picks.
D Ford is probably one of the bigger shocks of the year.
Well, contract year is undefeated.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to say, I think I read today, he's either leading in pressures, which I think is the most overrated stat, or he's leading the league in sacks and ahead by 6 pressures, the next closest guy.
NFL sack leader.
NFL player stats, next one down.
Aaron Donald with 10. And then
D Ford's number 2.
D Ford is tied
with 8.
at 2 with Von Miller, Danielle Hunter, Miles Ford,
Myles Garrett. Yeah.
Bring up the complete list. I think JJ has 7 or 8, I want to say.
Man, who's that in passing yards? Who's that number 1 over there? That was fucking weird. I missed that.
Yep. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys tied with 8. D Ford, Myles Garrett, Danielle Hunter, Von Miller, Jason Pierre-Paul, and J.J. Watt.
Look at D Ford's forced fumbles number. 4 forced fumbles already.
Look at J.J. Watts. 4 forced fumbles. 4 forced fumbles.
No, listen. I'm not saying that's a fucking neck-breaking number. But for D Ford, it's amazing. For D Ford to be having this kind of year.
J.J. Watt has 30 tackles. Oh, he's leading the league or leading this list in tackles outside of his old brother Rooney.
TJ, 37.
There must be something in that old Wisconsin water.
Calais Campbell's got 39 down there. See him?
Yeah, well, when you're playing from behind, your defense is always on the field. Of course, you're going to get more.
It's true.
That's why when people brag that their safety's one of the league leaders in tackles,
your safety should never be leading the league in tackles.
An awful. I mean, good for him. Like that got Malcolm Jenkins to a Pro Bowl.
Right.
But when your safety is your lead tackler, that's terrible. That means your front seven.
Your front seven's getting torched.
Is atrocious.
Right.
But let's jump into our week. Niggity. Oh, I got to be careful.
Easy.
9. Nittity nines.
Week 9.
All right, starting off Thursday Night Football, we got the Black Hole traveling to Santa Barbara or Santa Cruz?
Santa Monica, who
Levi Stadium against the 49ers. Who do you got, kid?
49ers.
I want to say the 49ers are going to beat the brakes.
Yes, 49ers
are going to torch
by a
them.
lot. Yeah, by a lot.
Are going to torch them.
Yeah.
The Chicago Bears, the Monsters of Midway, traveling.
I just want to put it out front. This is the week that I get every single game right. Book it.
Okay. Intern, are you writing this stuff down?
Or you could record it. Maybe record it.
I'm the producer, motherfucker.
This is the producer, not the intern, asshole.
So the Monsters of Midway traveling to play the
Bears.
Boy I Love Losing Super Bowl.
Bears.
I got the Bears as well.
Mm-hmm.
The Buccaneers, the Ryan Fitzpatrick led. Let's take a moment of that, right? How bad is Jameis Winston?
Listen, he's impressively bad. He played, what, 3 or 4 games and has like 10 or 11 interceptions? It's hard to throw that many interceptions.
I want to make a gentleman's bet with you right now. He will be the New York Giants starting quarterback next year.
No. Nope. No shot. They're drafting a quarterback high.
Gentleman's bet?
Gentleman's bet.
You heard it here first. Jameis Winston will be the New York Giants starting quarterback next year.
If they did, that fan base will blow up that fucking stadium. I promise you.
We know why. So the Buccaneers, the Fitzmagic-led Buccaneers taking on Carolina.
Panthers continue their dominance.
Absolutely. Carolina's just too solid across the board. The Chiefs Kingdom traveling to the dog pound. Hold on. TJ Whelan came in and he said, I see no gentleman to make that bet.
Thank you, sir.
That must mean our stream's not up.
You're an asshole. Chiefs Browns in Cleveland.
I gotta go with the dog pound.
Do you?
No, I'm not being a jerk off. They're gonna this game as slow and granted the whole Chiefs defense looks like they're running through quicksand. They're gonna obliterate and fuck up Baker Mayfield. Now, I got the Chiefs.
The Chiefs defense is not slow. I'm gonna tell you the problem. The problem is that defensive coordinator. He is the worst defensive coordinator.
Oh yeah, the team happens to be what 7-1, but it's the.
They're the dead last defense in the NFL.
Hey,
they stink.
That don't matter as long as you're winning, dog.
It's true.
At the end of the day, that's just a dick measuring contest.
I'm gonna tell you what scares me about this game, and this might be the most scared I've been about a game all year. The interim head coach fucking pet rally. A few years ago, Green Bay was undefeated. They were looking like they were going to cruise to an undefeated season. They played Kansas City right after they fired Todd Haley, and Romeo Crennel was the head coach. I don't even know if we had one win at the fucking time. And they went in and they beat that Green Bay team, and they beat them good. Because it was that energy change. Everyone was rejoiced. The Todd Haley was gone. The team rallied together, and they went out and played a game. I'm worried about this game.
Speaking of that, I saw something, and I really wish I knew the source to give him credit, but I saw somewhere that if Mike McCarthy gets fired in Green Bay, that's John Dorsey's guy for Cleveland.
Oh, I'd bet $1 million. I'd bet $1 million easy. But I'm going to go Jets in a closer game than you think. I mean, Chiefs in a closer game than you think.
All right, the New York Jets, Jets. Taking on the Miami Dolphins.
Toilet bowl game, but I'm going with the Dolphins.
I'm going with the Jets. I think this is one of those Sam Darnold. He's going to have a high completion percentage. And this is going to be one of those games that afterwards all the talking heads are going to be like, this is why they drafted Sam Darnold. This is why he's going to be the leader. And
nah, Dolphins just got the brakes beat off them. They're going to come out. The Jets are in lose mode.
Steelers at Baltimore.
Steelers. Convincingly.
Steelers convincingly?
Yes.
I'm going to go with Joe Flacco at home.
Well, you're wrong, so you could just drop that.
Possibly. Detroit Rock City taking on the Skull.
Minnesota Vikings. They're going to put it together this week. They're going to beat the fucking Bulls off the lines.
I got the Minnesota Vikings. Atlanta Falcons traveling to Federal Express Stadium to play the Washington Redmen.
Redman. I'm going to go Washington on this one.
I'm going to go Washington, and it's going to lead to more of those. Is this Julio's last season as a Falcon chatter?
You know what?
Does Bell play now that he is tendered?
I didn't see if he signed or not, did he?
No, he did not sign, and as far as I know, I don't think he's showing up at all from what I'm seeing.
Last I saw, he wasn't showing up.
He can only, and everyone's saying he can only play for Pittsburgh, and I get that, but I don't think he's showing up.
But the problem is if he doesn't show up, he loses a year of eligibility, and then he's back on a one-year contract again next year. He's not a free agent next year. He basically has to report if he wants to be a free agent coming up. If he doesn't report by week 10, and sign, he loses his year of, not eligibility, of
tenure
of service. Tenure,
Service,
whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So eventually he's going to sign. I don't know if he'll play, but he will be there by week 10.
But I think this is going to be a soul snatcher game from the Falcons, like I said, and it's going to be.
See, now that I'm
why?
thinking about it,
Because that's the type of player DJ Swearinger is. He's a soul snatcher. He's the dude that makes a
took
play,
Marshawn Lynch's soul last year.
and he is going to fucking let you know it.
Right.
He's going to let you know he's in your shit all fucking day, every play. I'm going to nickname this the soul snatcher ball, and this might get on to Julio being out.
I'm going to tell you what I noticed about this game is the Falcons. If the Falcons can put up 28 points, they'll win this game. I think 28's the number. If they could score 28, they'll win.
It's the soul snatcher bowl. I'm telling you, brother.
Listen, Julio Jones goes up
I'm
and down the
telling
field.
you, brother.
Julio Jones goes up and down the field, but he don't score touchdowns.
In the 4 o'clock game that I probably won't get because CBS either won't be having a football game on or I'll get stuck with Chargers Seahawks.
All fair, I'll tell you about how to get all these games. Don't you worry about it.
Show. We got the Texans, Texans,
God, fuck.
traveling to Mile High Stadium.
Who you got?
I got to keep
who I got.
I got to keep the tradition going, and I got to go with the Case Keenum-led Denver Broncos.
Now, if you've been keeping track, I've called every single Texans game during their streak. All wins.
I've called them all losses.
But I've been right about them, and I'm going to be right this week.
I've been right about them, too.
No, you've been wrong the last 5 games. I've been right. They lose this
Yeah.
week to Denver.
They lose this week to Denver.
Yes.
I can see that. That's
Denver's defense is playing lights out football.
Von Miller's gonna. It'll at least be a 3-sack performance for Von.
Chubb's no slouch either. They're gonna go in there.
I got a Chubb for him. Meat and potatoes. Boom.
The old piece.
Moving along, we got the LA Chargers heading up the West Coast to play the Seattle 12th man.
This is the first game where the Chargers get splashed. Reality check.
Splash! Da, 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 da. Yeah, I think this is one of those welcome back to earth games for them. Rams taking on the Saints in a possible NFC Championship. You're hearing it here first from your old boy. NFC Championship game preview. Rams Saints.
Saints.
I'm going with the Saints as well. This is where that slow defense gets exposed.
This is where the slow defense gets. You're 100% right. Alvin Kamara is going to go to fuck off on this team. And Marcus Peters has quietly been playing some of the worst cornerback of any cornerback in the NFL. This is why the Chiefs got rid of him. He strained the calf, but no, he's fully being exposed for everything the Chiefs fans have been saying for the last 3 years that we've been in denial about. He's a bad down-to-down cornerback that makes big plays, and it makes him look better than he is.
Our Sunday will end with the Green Bay Acme Packers traveling to Foxborough to face Daddy, oh handsome Tom Brady.
Who do you think wins this one? Because I know who wins this one.
Tom Brady, handsome, hands down, convincingly.
You think?
Absolutely.
Green Bay wins by 10.
No chance in hell.
Green Bay wins by 10.
New England wins by 14. Bank it.
Now, this Monday night game is one that I can't wait for.
Oh, yeah. This is the Monday night football game we have all been waiting all year.
My game of the week as far as I'm concerned.
This is the game of the week. We got the Tennessee Titans traveling to Irving, Texas to take on Jerry's World Dallas
What's the name of their
Cowboys. AT&T Stadium?
Is it AT&T?
Is it AT&T or is it Dallas Cowboys Stadium?
I don't think it's. I think it's got some corporate.
I think it's
name
AT&T.
now. I'm going Titans on this one.
No.
And every one of these is right. You could book it, write it down. They're all right.
This is going to be a game where the Cowboys go off like they did against Jacksonville.
You think?
Uh-huh.
I don't think.
And our old friend Jimmy Morris will still say, it's not Mariota, it's the play calling, it's a new system. I know he only had 98 yards passing and 47 attempts.
Man, he's looked bad since that debate. He's looked fucking awful.
Your boy might know a thing or two. I might got
You're fucking taking all of them, prick.
a few screws missing, but in there. There's a little lightning or electricity does connect to a proper connection.
Lightning. You like you got hit with a fucking bolt of lightning.
Hey! So,
wrap it up, prick.
All right. Well, you've got nothing. I've got nothing. Appreciate you guys. TJ Whelan, if you're still listening on YouTube, we appreciate it. Anyone else that's following on YouTube, just click that subscribe button so you'll get our weekly show updates. Find us.
We do have a podcast. It's just audio. If you don't feel like looking at his face for an hour,
I'm handsome.
just listen to it.
Yeah, you can just.
He's got a face for radio.
We're on Apple iTunes, Google Play. Find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or no, we didn't set up a Facebook. Email us.
Before we go, your number one team in the NFL right now. Go.
The Saints.
Chiefs. All right, we're out of here, fellas.
We're out of here.
Awful.